Hello and welcome to the Otaku Podcast, probably the best podcast for otakus by otakus. I am Taylor Fry, joined once again with Braxton.
Hello.
And we're back on schedule after having a couple weeks off due to some personal issues. We won't talk about it. But today we have decided to come back with a little bit of a bang, I guess you'll say.
Yes. We are doing 10 Japan facts.
Exactly. Now, I am what the mainstream would call a Japanophile because I am a very big Japan person and I've studied up on Japan for several years now. And I kind of just love the culture in general in Japan, and especially when learning the language and learning how people in Japan are very different than the people here in the Western culture, and we could probably discuss that in a different episode. But I have 5 facts that I want to give off. Braxton has 5 facts that he'll give off. I'll go ahead and start mine with probably a very common fact here, is that in the Japanese language, the word Japan is Nihon or Nippon, which means land of the rising sun. It was once believed that Japan was the first country to see the sun rise every single day. It was like the very first country to see like the sun rise every single like morning. So it was like, if it was like March 2nd here, it would be March 3rd in Japan, and they would see the sunrise first, as that's what they believe. I think they still believe that, to be honest, but that's as someone who's learning the Japanese language. Okay, when you're learning kanji and you see all these kinds of like different kanji and stuff like that, I believe one of the characters in Nihon, I think it's like the first one, the ni part, is it's the same. I believe it's the same kanji that they use in the China. In China, when you look at like the different languages, you usually see China and the Japanese, and they're very hard to tell the difference between.
Most languages in the world have a lot of similarities and overlapping words.
Yes.
We all kind of build off each other and then eventually separate into our language, still taking bits and pieces from other.
That's what Japan's little kanji system is about. It's for katakana, they have like how they have 3 different writing systems. They have the hiragana, which is the Japanese words. Katakana, which is foreign words. So if it comes from English, they'll use katakana, or if it's from French, they'll use katakana. And then kanji comes from, it's kind of like the same rule as katakana, but it's all for the Chinese system. So if you learn Japanese, you're also learning Chinese as well, thanks to the whole kanji system. So there's my one fact.
All right, my first fact is about trains. In Japan, trains are very punctual.
Mm-hmm.
If your train is running late, the train company will display it on the monitors on the platforms, and an employee will apologize over the public announcement system.
Yeah, there was I heard a story several months back where a train, I don't know the company, but the train was running like 2 minutes late, and the entire company had to apologize because of that. In Japan, trains are almost, like, I want to say 99.8% of the times on time. Like, the trains will usually never run late unless like something ends up going wrong with the trains, which in Japan, usually the trains don't break down as much as like here.
They're upkept a lot because trains are like the main form of transportation.
And then, you have like normal trains, and then you got like the bullet trains, which, good God, those bullet trains are
fastest in the world are in Japan.
Yep. If I remember, you could go from Tokyo to Osaka in like 5 to 10 minutes on a bullet train. That would take you around like maybe an hour on a regular train. So if you get on bullet train, you're just zooming. You're just freaking gone.
You'd be zooming.
All right. But speaking of Osaka, around the Osaka area is a city called Kobe, which I talk about a lot outside of this podcast because it's probably one of my favorite cities outside of the usual Tokyo and Osaka. But in Kobe, they have their world famous Wagyu beef, which is found all over the place. You know, you could go over to like any part of Japan and you could find Wagyu beef, but
You can find it all over the world. Wagyu,
yeah, that's true.
if I remember correctly, is the most expensive cut
Yeah.
of meat.
It's it's the Japanese cows for this beef come from 262 different farms in the Tajima region, and the cows are received daily massages. Good God, I can't say that.
Massages.
I can't say that. I'm sorry. And in the summer, they are fed a diet of sake and beer mash. Good stuff. Good
Oh.
stuff. Love that in my beef.
Be drunk and have a massage every
Yeah.
day. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. But, until you get killed.
That's true. I'd love to be that cow until I get freaking slaughtered.
I thought you were going to say all the way till the end.
Maybe. No, I'm king. All right, so that's my second fact. Kobe beef is like the Wagyu beef in Kobe is probably the most expensive, but it's also the most delicious. So
Oh, yeah. Taste correlates with the price very heavily.
it very much does.
All right, this is a short one, probably a bit more common. Eating while walking is considered rude in
Yes.
Japan.
Yes.
I thought that was very weird because here in America, you do it all the time. You go to a fair, everybody is eating as they're walking.
I think the reason why is because if you go around Japan, you'll notice how incredibly clean the streets are. Because unlike here in America, it's littered when it comes to the fair times. But in Japan, since, eating and drinking is considered rude or whatever, a lot of their streets are more clean because, of course,
Well, drinking isn't considered rude while walking.
Oh, okay. Not drinking. Sorry, but eating.
Because it would suck if you had to just stop and sit down every time you wanted a sip of water as you're walking to your job or
The thing is that in Japan you can grab a quick bite to eat almost anywhere, but you really can't walk around with it because, they just want to keep their streets clean because they don't want to have like a gigantic mess, especially if you're in Tokyo where it's flipping massive. The last thing you want is to like walk around. You have to step over a bunch of trash and look over into the streets, and it's just like littered with a bunch of like plastic bags and stuff like that could potentially, ruin the environment in some way, shape, or form. Whereas here in America, you can eat and drink and do all that sort of stuff while you're walking, but you will really see a lot of like trash on the ground and stuff.
I know
like that.
the people that do that and don't throw stuff away disgust me.
Yeah.
The people that smoke cigarettes and just throw them out the window. It disgusts me. Just
Now-
have an ashtray, throw it away.
Now, speaking of like grabbing a quick bite, Japan has 5.5 million vending machines all across that small little continent, okay, or a small little country. Here in America, like we are freaking massive. Like how big our mass is, I want to say. I can't remember the exact amount, but it's like,
It's pretty big.
yeah, it's like five times bigger than Japan, at least.
I know America is 140 times bigger than Ireland.
Oh, yeah. So possibly around like 80 times bigger than Japan, but we only have like 5 million vending machines, if I remember correctly, but Japan has 5.5 million vending machines littered all across there.
Incredibly concentrated.
Yeah, and they're incredibly common to walk around. Even in the most rural of areas like Sendai, you walk around Sendai, there's like vending machines left, right, above you, everywhere. And
Oh yeah, I want a vending machine above you. You just
Look
toss a coin up. If it lands in the slot of the vending machine, hey, you hit the jackpot. If not, you lost your money.
But these vending machines could have normal stuff such as like hot and cold canned coffee, like nice little candies like Skittles, M&Ms, Kit Kat bars, that sort of stuff. And then you get to most of these vending machines I'm going to say here are listed somewhere in Akihabara, which everybody knows that place if they are at Otaku. Probably the number one place they want to visit in Japan. That's kind of where me and my buddy Brody are wanting to go. We'll probably go there. But some of the more questionable things they have in the vending machines are full-fledged comic books, cigarettes, cigarettes.
I guess that's not too
That's
odd.
not too
I mean,
bad.
we don't really have them in America, vending machines.
Yeah.
You just go into a gas station, but that's not too out there.
Yeah. Let's see. They also have light bulbs, toilet papers, umbrellas, which they're not like stuffed in like the regular size vending machines. They're like more advanced vending machine. I can't describe how they look. fish bait, fresh eggs, and these last two, get ready for these last two, porn magazines and used women's underwear.
Wait, what?
Yes.
No, stop. Ew.
That's an actual thing.
Pervert.
Those are actual things. And I do not know who thought of putting porn magazines and women's underwear in vending machines, but I also want to know who buys them.
I
don't-
feel like you
I don't
would.
know. I don't know if I want an answer, but
I feel like you would.
no. Maybe for the porn magazines, but not for the used women's underwear. That is disgusting. But the comic books also kind of throw me off too, because it's like, what comic books can you put in a vending machine, and like, how can you keep that in stock? Because it's,
I mean, it seems fairly simple. I mean, you could just line it up like a bookshelf and have something like just have like a magnet on the back of each
Yeah.
book and just have it.
that's true.
Grab it. go when you want, and
Also,
just pull it off.
I think in like Japan, when you watch anime that have like vending machine like scenes and stuff like that, there'll be like times where they'll have like little mini games or something like that where you can like win two things instead of like having just one. You know, it'll have it to where it's like, hey, you like won a jackpot or something like that, so you get something else for free and that sort of stuff. And you know, and the vending machines are, I want to say, a lot cleaner, I think, because
I don't know. I've never really looked into a vending machine and seen it dirty in there. So,
I mean, it's America. What can you expect? All right,
ouch.
all right, go. You're
Ouch.
up for your third.
60% of all animated shows are in Japan. I feel like that's
that's pretty common.
I mean, that's not the rest of my fact though. Calm
let it-
down, eager beaver. All right.
Sorry.
More paper is used for making comic books than for toilet paper.
See, the thing is about Japan is that they really love paper still. Okay, here in America, a lot of our stuff is digital for the most part, but there's still a good chunk of paper. But in Japan, like, almost everything is paper, and you rarely get to see like, you know, anything in digital form or something like that, unless it's like animated on the computer, like in anime and stuff like that. To go to your point about the animated shows and stuff like that, I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, there's also animes that come from China and the Koreas, and even I believe there were a few that were in Russia, if I remember, but I can't remember exactly. But most animated shows that come from Asia are definitely Japan, of course, and they really do have some incredible freaking artists and animators and stuff like that. So I applaud Japan. And their
One good one from China that I do know, King's Avatar. That one's pretty good.
Oh yeah, and then
I read the manga before.
and Tower of God came from the Koreas, if I remember correctly. I can't.
I think so. I
Yeah.
don't remember. I'm so hyped for the anime adaptation.
Oh my
though.
God.
I've been a big fan of the manga for like 2.5 years now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I'm excited for that to come out. That's coming out spring. That's coming out next season. So actually next month. It's coming out next month. So
So hyped. They better do a good job. That's all I'm asking.
dude, I can't remember the exact studio names, but
Wasn't it Bones?
no, it's not Bones.
I thought.
No, it's not
No,
Bones.
it
But
wasn't.
whoever's animating it, I've seen a couple of their other anime shows, and they are freaking incredible. I don't know their name. I'll probably remember it as soon as I get done recording this, which I'll probably regret. So, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go for my next fact here. For my fourth fact, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit on the holiday side. Okay, we're gonna go to Christmas. We're gonna talk about Christmas because Christmas in
Mary
Japan.
Chrysler.
Christmas in Japan is a complete 180 from Christmas here in America.
Oh, so they beat up Santa Claus.
Well,
Or they have Santa sit on their lap.
Dogen. There's a video made by Dogen, who's a famous Japanese YouTuber that I watch. He's very he likes to tell like serious stories, but in a comedic way. So, and he does it all in Japanese with English subtitles. I recommend watching him if you haven't already seen him. But he did a video talking about Christmas in Japan and how it's completely different from America. And the biggest 180 between America and Japan is that Japan's Christmas always revolves around KFC. Literally,
What the?
yeah, KFC is considered a typical Christmas Eve feast. Here in America, it's turkey and, like basically anything that we eat from Thanksgiving.
Nothing like fast food on Christmas, am I right?
Yeah. And there were,
I had a taco bar for Christmas.
Yeah.
I made that. It was great.
let me see. In Japan, Christmas is what Dogen said, quote unquote, emo, because they play like, instead of like the holly jolly Christmas songs and stuff like that.
I hate Christmas songs.
Yeah, they play like a Christmas song, like a pretty dark Christmas song. I can't remember exactly what
Hello,
the song
darkness,
was.
my old friends.
Not the Sound of Silence. Not the Sound of Silence, because that's not Christmassy. But the biggest thing about Japan's Christmas is that people will literally request their KFC Christmas chicken months in advance.
What in
Because,
the world?
and it's like hundreds of people are lined up wanting to get a KFC Christmas feast. And a little out of the way,
Just make your own fried chicken at that point.
a little out of the
It's not
way
that hard.
here, I saw a picture of a sale that was going on in Japan. I don't remember the exact store or whatever, but the sign literally said in English, "Christmas fucking sale."
Nice.
Oh
It's
my!
your Christmas fucking sale right here, folks.
It's the Christmas fucking sale here at JCPenney.
Oh, I thought it'd be at Adam and Eve's.
Oh, that's incredibly fucked up. But
It's not messed up. It's a sex store, all right?
well,
They exist.
unfortunately, but also,
Unfortunately, I mean, if you want toys in the bedroom, I guess order it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
what
toys in the
is
bedroom.
wrong with you?
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm open-minded and allow people to have fun if they like.
Well, okay. But anyways, Christmas in Japan, if you want a more detailed explanation of everything, go watch Dogen's video on it, because he did an incredible job discussing it. As somebody who lived in America for quite a few years and then moved to Japan in like 2006 or something like that, and then, has grown up and became super fluent in Japanese, and I'm jealous of him, but yeah,
Jealous of his hard work, yep.
but that's my fourth fact. What do you got?
All right, my fourth fact. I might butcher this, all right?
I'll try and help you out.
Tsukiji?
Tsukiji?
Tsukiji.
TSU what?
Tsukiji. Tsukiji. I mean, I don't...
Tsukiji.
Tsukiji Fish Market of Japan is the world's largest wholesale fish
Okay, yeah.
and seafood market. One of the popular foods in Japan is raw horse meat.
Yeah. Tsukiji's fish market. I don't remember where it's exactly located, but another YouTuber that I watch abroad in Japan, I think he did a video on it where he went to that fish market, and it is incredibly flippin' massive. And fish markets are famous all across Japan, especially at like the more port cities like Kobe and I can't remember. Crap. I knew a few off the top of my head. Now I instantly forgot after I said Kobe. But if you live or if you're visiting a port city, or even in Tokyo, they kind of have fish markets every once in a while, and lots of people go there. It's kind of like where you would, unless you go to a supermarket, it's kind of like the place to stock up on meat, because a lot of their meat is fresh. So it's fresh out of the water, freshly cut, so it's fresh. And it's fish markets, if you ever visit Japan and, need to go out and buy something like meat-wise or something like that, I would study up on fish markets, see what time they open, because usually they open around like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then they close like after the morning rush or just a little after like 10 a.m. or whatever.
Oh wow, so they close very early.
Yeah, that's kind of like how that's how they do the thing. So if you want to get like fresh meat or whatever, you got to be like up early in the morning or something like that. Which, even in the morning rush, that's still they still get quite some business in the days. I mean,
Well, apparently, because if they weren't, they would have changed the times.
yeah. So for my final fact, I still have several facts that I could go over, but I want to go with a more etiquette fact here, because you said something earlier about eating while walking is considered rude. Well, it is appropriate in Japan to slurp noodles, like completely like slurped up like any sort of noodles or whatever, like that.
Sorry for that.
Especially
ASMR.
especially soba or buckwheat. When you do slurp in Japan, when you slurp the food, it indicates that the food is delicious, and it also, of course, cools down the food, because if you're doing that, you're usually, blowing cool air and stuff like that.
I don't think we need to get too deep into the physics, but speed in the wind helps cool off a noodle as you slurp.
There's your physics homework for tonight, kids.
See how many degrees a noodle cools down.
Yeah. But
as you incrementally get faster in slurping.
Yeah. Once when I started learning about the Japanese culture, I found it quite interesting about this fact, because of the fact that when you slurp here in America, it is very rude or very annoying.
Very it's rude table manners.
Yeah. It's like, you really don't want to do that because you don't want to be so noisy. You just want to, eat like what we call here a normal person. You got to keep quiet and stuff like that. But in Japan, if you're eating noodles, or if you're eating noodles in general, you want to like slurp as possibly loud as you can. And
I mean, I can do that.
I freaking can. I've tried my best.
I can deafen people.
Yeah, I've tried my absolute hardest, and I just cannot for the life of me slurp my noodles. And that gets me upset a little bit.
What, you just go...
Yeah, but I can't do that, because every time I try to do that, it gets stuck. It, like, stops. I'm just like...
Well, you're not supposed to breathe it in.
I'm not breathing it in.
You gotta use your tongue to stop it from just rocketing down your throat and into your lungs.
So, I still gotta practice that, but... Yeah, but here in America, slurping in general is like considered frowned upon, and you really don't want to do it. But in Japan, you want to do it because it's like saying, "Hey, this food's delicious," and and cools down the noodles, of course. So that's my last fact of today.
All right, my last fact: there are 118 volcanoes in Japan. This number outlasts volcanoes in any other country and makes up 10% of the world's total volcano population.
Now, one of the biggest volcanoes is actually Mount Fuji. Like, Mount Fuji is actually a very inactive volcano.
Mm-hmm.
And Mount Fuji stands at around 12,000 feet, over 12,000 feet. And, one of the best sites to go see. You could, like, stand in, like, this little, like, area next to, like, a river or whatever, and you could see Mount Fuji just absolutely fine. And it's beautiful. When it's not cloudy, it's not covered up to tip top. But yes, there are a lot of volcanoes in Japan, but fortunately, most of the volcanoes that are in Japan are inactive. There's really not a whole lot of like volcanic activity in Japan in terms of like natural disasters. The main natural disasters in Japan is, of course, earthquakes and tsunamis. Well, actually not tsunamis, but typhoons. Well, yeah, tsunamis and typhoons, but
typhoons can also result in tsunamis.
Yeah. But volcanic eruptions rarely happen around Japan. So, and even if they do happen, most of the volcanoes are on like Japan's like many different islands that they have.
Mm-hmm. And it depends on the type of volcanoes. There's a bunch of different types. Most volcanoes in the world are actually very docile. So even when they do erupt, it's just magma. Oh God, I can't speak. Magma just kind of gently flows from the top down, very slowly. It's super easy to get out of the way.
And it's just like the most dangerous thing is of course like the ash will pollute the air, which is
But for those docile volcanoes, it just flows. There's barely any ash.
Yeah. So, but volcanic eruptions, if they do happen, they're not really that terrible. I mean, our volcano, like here in America, we really don't have too many volcanoes, but there's like one volcano in it's somewhere in Utah. Can't remember the park. Yosemite Park.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
And if that one erupts, that would probably end our...
You butchered the name, but it's fine.
I can't say it. I'm sorry. But yeah, Japan does have a lot of volcanoes, but like I said, it's you're really not gonna. If you're in Japan, if you're visiting or you're living in Japan, and you can think of it as two ways. It's like that's a lot of volcanoes that could potentially like destroy our country, or it's like, oh, that's, most of those volcanoes are inactive, and even if they do erupt, most of them are not, that big compared to what we have
dangerous
here.
Too. Yeah. But the Yosemite volcano is actually classified as a supervolcano.
Yeah.
And
that's what we got here.
Could be ungodly dangerous to the entire world if it did go off. So let's just hope it doesn't.
And if it does, well, we're screwed.
Every day's an impending doom.
Pretty freaking much. I remember watching a video back in middle school about what happens if that volcano actually.
There's a movie about that. It's not too realistic, but yeah.
Yeah. And but I watched something about that back in middle school, and it was like, every single day it'll be like ash is coming over like a dark cloud, and next thing you know, air
could
pollution
possibly bring on the ice age, depending on how powerful and how much of the ash there is.
Yep. So I think we covered 10 facts about Japan. And I really wanted to go over a lot more because I had, just on my paper alone, I had 10.
But I think let's keep it short, simple,
sweet. We'll probably do a part 2 if we have to. So I do want to say thank you for everybody who's really supported this podcast since we started this back in November. And we've been trying our darndest to keep at a consistent schedule. And we will try to keep at it, once again, here these next few weeks. Once a week, every Thursday. Just hopefully everything will be set sail smoothly here after what happened these past few weeks. And pretty much all I gotta say is thanks for all the support, I guess, for the podcast.
And real quick, Dakota most likely will not be in the future Weeb reviews for the rest of My Hero Academia or probably ever. There's been a lot of internal struggle, and that part 3 was probably the last time you're going to see him. Sorry about that, though, guys.
Yeah. And I still gotta finish up season 3 of My Hero Academia. I'm slowly getting into it.
Yep, that's going to be put on pause until he gets himself caught up with the series.
Yeah, because it's not going to be easy discussing an anime when it's only like one-sided. Mm-hmm. It works better if you really listen to it, not as a one-man discussing it to somebody who doesn't know anything about it. So
yes, it'd seem more like a lecture rather than a conversation.
Pretty much. So yeah. So Weeb reviews will continue, but we have to. I have to finish up season 3 for that to hit part 4, and then we will finish up that Weeb reviews with season 4 once that is all completed and stuff like that, because it's almost complete. I think the season ends early to late April. I may be wrong, but
all right.
It's a lot of episodes. There's still a couple episodes left, but yeah. So that's what our future looks. We have a couple of other special things that we're gonna get out there in the next couple of weeks as well. And hopefully everybody who's listening to the podcast will enjoy those. Now, thank you all so much for tuning in. I've been Taylor.
And I am Braxton.
And this has been the Otaku Cast. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Make sure to like and subscribe, though. Sorry for the sellout. I don't want to force you to it, but if you liked it, feel free to.
Yeah.
Take old biddies.